everyone, and welcome to our Florida price breakdown video, which has been very highly requested, hasn't it?
It has been. We've got plenty of messages from you guys telling us how we book our holiday,
Yep.
where we book our holiday, how much we spend on Ubers, food, snacks, all the little details. We're going to be basically breaking it down for you, showing you all them little details, so come and join us along this video.
Okay, so just a quick disclaimer before we do start the video. The prices that we're going to give throughout this video are based off what we spend and obviously what we pay as a couple. So if you're going as a family, things like that, the prices are going to vary. So just bear that in mind when you're watching. Obviously this is for a couple, not for a family, but it gives you an idea of the sort of amount that we spend, and you can obviously work it out from there.
Yeah, so just before we do start our video as well, we will give you a full rundown, if you've not already watched our videos, of basically what we planned our holiday with. So we spent 13 nights staying in Disney's All-Star Sports, and we flew with Aer Lingus. So that's like a basic thing for you, and we'll break it up into little sections for you now.
Okay, so let's, for example, pretend that we're booking a holiday together now. So this is obviously going to affect your price of your holiday. So for example, if you are thinking that Florida is going to be a one-off trip, you want to see everything whilst you're there, you want to go to all the parks, that being Disney, Universal, Discovery Cove, all the rest of it. If you're doing it as a one-off trip, it's going to be more pricey, isn't it? Yeah,
and obviously depends on where you stay and stuff like that. If you're looking at just going to just Disney for the trip, for example, we'll help you with that. If you're looking at just Universal, if you're looking at maybe not even the parks, maybe just going to Florida in general, we'll talk you through all that. So let's say we are just going to Disney, for example. We'd recommend staying at Disney resorts.
Yes, definitely. I mean,
because that's your primary consumption of the holiday. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're going to Disney, aren't you?
Primarily going to Disney, to the Disney parks, you're not venturing outside of that, then staying on site is very beneficial, because they have transportation, things like that, which we'll get into, but it saves you massively on that cost. However, the prices of Disney hotels and staying on site can be quite high. Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And the same thing goes for Universal. If you're just thinking about doing Universal whilst you're over there, especially with the new Epic Universe opening very soon, you could easily spend a week within Universal itself. Universal does look a bit slightly cheaper with prices of hotels, but yeah, it just depends on what you want from the holiday. So like I said, if we are booking a holiday, if you're booking a holiday from watching this video, just the first thing is get in mind of what you actually want from your Florida trip. So write down all the things you want to see, work out how many days you want to stay, etc. So you've got like a ball figure of, you know what you want to do basically. So yeah.
Okay, so starting off where you usually start off when you're booking a holiday, which is your hotel and flights. So if we're talking about our last trip, which was in September, October time,
2024,
last year, 2024, we stayed for 13 nights at Disney's All-Star Sports Resort, and that cost us a total per person of £1,382.78 each.
Yeah, which I think is a good figure.
It is.
For a Disney resort. Like I said,
staying on site.
This is staying on site, which includes all your transport to all the Disney parks and Disney Springs, and it includes the flights as well, includes the hotel and flights. So the flights were with Aer Lingus, direct flights from Manchester to Orlando, which again, I think is really good price.
Really, really good price.
So if you think flights are going to cost you about £500 per person, ish, and around that figure. So to say that the hotel was about $850 ish per person, I think that's quite good.
I think it's good. We got quite lucky
for 13 nights. Yeah, we did. So yeah.
So moving on to how we book, or where we like to check sort of when we're booking our holidays. So for hotel and flights, for the last trip that we went on to Florida, as I say, in September, October, we booked through Love Holidays, and we did the same for our previous trip, which was in the February of 2024. We booked through Love Holidays again. Yeah.
Now, a quick thing for Love Holidays, they have now stopped Disney hotels.
Yes.
So obviously we booked our hotel and flights through Love Holidays, and now they've stopped selling like the Disney All-Star Sports. The on-site kind of. I think they've got the Swan and Dolphin one. I think it's the only one they do now. So it's hard to kind of look, because we booked it through that, but now we're going to have to look at different places as well, which will help you with now. So you can either book things separately, so hotel separate, flight separate, transport separate or whatever, or you can try and book a package. Love Holidays is kind of like a package. It obviously doesn't include your transport from the airport. It's just including your hotel and flights. So where to look for your flights? The main one we always use is Skyscanner. And I think most people watching will know Skyscanner. If you don't know what Skyscanner is, it's basically, it's like a generic flight page where you can type in the dates you want, and it'll give you like the cheapest flight from different websites. So booking.com, whatever, Expedia.
But we wouldn't recommend booking through Skyscanner. So check on Skyscanner for the cheapest dates to fly, and then book through the actual airline's website itself, because I'm pretty sure that Skyscanner will take a cut of the money. I'm not 100% on that.
It's buying for a third party, so if anything goes wrong, you then have to go through them to go through them.
So,
whereas if you book directly through Virgin or Aer Lingus, stuff like that,
British Airways,
you'll be able to do it.
Book it directly, but check on Skyscanner for the cheapest deals. It just makes it so much easier because they don't really do that sort of stuff on the main pages for airlines. You can't really check for the cheapest month or the cheapest dates, whereas Skyscanner you can. So that just makes it a little bit easier for you to work out when the cheapest time is to fly and, you know, what the best deal is for your flights.
The flights will increase in price as well, going directly through the website. We've usually found it's about in between £0 to £50 per person. It increases.
It's not a huge amount.
No, but because the cheapest price is obviously coming through some website that you might not have heard from before. But Aer Lingus is obviously a little bit more, or Virgin's a little bit more. But like I said, you have that kind of security, don't you? 100%.
Definitely.
So if you're doing it separately, Skyscanner is the way forward to look for the cheapest flights. If you're doing it together, like I said, Love Holidays is not a bad place to look for, especially if you're staying on like iDrive, Lake Buena Vista. Now, if you wanted to stay at like a Disney resort, Attraction Tickets is quite a good place to look for your hotel. They've been doing quite a good deal recently where they have like a 12% off deal, and you can get your hotels a little bit cheaper, but obviously they'll have to buy your flights separately through Aer Lingus, through Virgin, etc. British Airways, another one, a good one to look through for package holidays. Expedia, if you just wanted to look at a hotel. Booking.com.
Expedia and Booking.com are the two we generally use, I mean, for all our holidays.
City breaks.
And it's always worth as well, if you do check one, check the other. So if you check in a package, also check separately. And if you're checking separately, also check packages, just so you can see what the best deal is, so that you know you've got the best deal and you know you're not being fobbed off at all. It's always worth it. And having flexible dates as well, that's a big one.
So if we were to book our September, October holiday again, where we're just staying at Disney, I'd definitely look at doing the flights and hotels separately through the attraction tickets, because like I said, attraction tickets sell you tickets as well as your hotels, and the hotels are looking at not a bad price as well. So I'd recommend looking on there for your hotels. Obviously, like Vicky said, it depends on if you want to do it as a package or separately. Make sure you check both. We can't vouch that one place is going to be cheaper than the other. It just depends on the time of year. And we can't say what time of year is best either. It's just, you're just going to have to look and make sure you just do a full detail. Don't just book the first thing you see. Have a look around.
Have a good explore your different options. Because I think it's very easy to feel like you have to do it one way, whereas there are other ways to do your holiday, which we will also get onto.
But I think that's pretty much it for where we book our holidays.
For hotel and flights.
There's nothing too much more to mention. If you haven't got any more questions, leave them down in the comment section below. We'll try and get back to you. But like I said, have a good look around different websites like what we've mentioned. Check separately and check packages.
Okay, so the next part of the price breakdown is going to be tickets. So you're probably best answering where we book them.
Again, attraction tickets or Florida tickets. They're the main two we've ever used before. It's what I've used.
Aren't they?
It's what I've used with my family since I've been young. Attractiontickets.com, I think it is the main one. I definitely recommend that.
And then Florida tickets is Florida and then TIX.
We will leave a little link in the description as well of the actual website links, so you can actually click on them. You're not getting like to some random website. That's probably the best thing to do. So on our September, October holiday in 2024, we just did Disney and one night at Halloween Horror Nights.
And there was an offer on at the time.
There was an offer. I think it was about 10 to 12 or 15% off your tickets. So always look for a time where there is a percentage off. They always do them. Attraction tickets and foyer tickets always do
There's
deals.
always something on.
Black Friday, Boxing Day, January sale, even like midway through the year, there's always some kind of sale. So make sure you look at booking your tickets nice and early, and you can try and find the best price. So our tickets came to.
So in total, the tickets, and this was for Disney tickets and Halloween Horror Nights for one night. So in total, it came to £1,213 in total, and that is £606.50 each.
Which, again, I think really good.
Yeah.
If you're looking at booking just your Disney tickets separately, you will be quoted at about £560-ish.
Yeah.
I think that's without a deal. And the Halloween Horror Nights without the percentage off was £77 per night. But that depends on what day you go. If you go on the weekend, it can go up to £110. If you go midweek, it can be cheaper. Yeah. We obviously went on the Thursday, and it was one of the cheaper days. Yeah. And obviously with the percentage off, it works out at less than £70 for a night of Halloween Horror Nights, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Obviously that's without express passes. It's just the tickets. But you can go on rides. The five different rides that were open: Rip Ride Rocket, Mummy, Gringotts. All them rides were open, as well as the scare houses, scare zones, stuff like that. I think really good price.
It is.
And then the Disney tickets, like I said, they worked out about £520 each after the discount, which I think is really good. This is for a 14-day all-inclusive kind of like ticket where you can go as many times as you want. It's not like select days. You don't need to pick what day you go on. It's just 14 days. You can go. You can park up. You can go in the park as many times as you want on the day. Yeah. I think really good price for what you get.
Good value.
It is.
And just going back to what Danny said with the Halloween Horror Nights thing as well, for those of you that may be wanting to go to Halloween Horror Nights but haven't really considered Universal as somewhere that you want to visit because you're very focused on Disney, I would say that doing Halloween Horror Nights and obviously having the ability to go on some of the rides that are open on the night, it's a good way to see whether you'd like to go to Universal, which obviously you can then add on to your future trips. So it's a good way of doing it without having to spend the amount that you would for, a 14-day pass. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we just add them figures up for our hotel, flights and tickets, it comes to a total of...
in total, it's £3,978.56, which is for 2 people. Bear that in mind. And each it came to £1,989.28.
So that's tickets for Disney, one night at Halloween Horror Nights, staying on Disney Complex at All Star Sports, and direct flights with Aer Lingus from Manchester.
Yes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to move on to is transportation.
So that's like your Ubers and Lyfts, basically. That's the only way we got about, apart from your Disney transportation buses, which were included in that figure that we mentioned before. It's literally just Ubers and Lyfts left, which came to, how much was the total figure then?
The total figure was £149.96, which is £74.98 per person, which is really good.
That's what we spent for the 13 nights whilst we were there. So that was Lyfts or Ubers from the airport to and from Universal for the Halloween Horror Nights, to and from your outlet shopping and restaurants that we went to. So
and another thing to bear in mind with the Ubers and the Lyfts, for one, like we mentioned in pretty much every video that we got an Uber or a Lyft, check both, because sometimes one is way cheaper than the other, so it's worth having both there just in case. And another thing is time of day, it varies, and the day it varies as well, because like I think you said in the past, where if you stay until park closure, the prices will ramp up if you're going from park to hotel or park to evening meal. It's gonna vary. This isn't something that we can say it's gonna cost this amount. That's just how much it costs us for what we did and the time of day that we went out.
Yeah, time of day, time of year as well.
Yes,
if you go in on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, they're going to increase the prices, so we can't obviously give you a figure of how much your holiday is going to cost and how much Ubers you're going to spend. And that's obviously from the Disney hotels to the places. If you're staying at a place on iDrive, you're going to be spending more on Ubers, and we'll get into that in a second. But that was our figure, which I think is not a bad price.
I don't think it's bad at all in comparison to
the car, which I was going to say. Now,
yes.
a lot of people have mentioned, why have you not hired a car before?
Yeah.
The first thing is because we are both under the age of 25,
yeah.
and they hike the prices up to the max for people under 25-year-old.
And as well, we haven't had a need to. The places that we've been on the past couple of trips have been local. Yep. We've been to parks. We've not had a need for a car. The only time I think we will rent a car, and I think you agree with this, is if we're going further afield in Florida, if we're going more towards like the beaches and things like that, and exploring a bit further afield in Florida. There's just no need for us to spend that price, and you'll see when we tell you the price of the car, the comparison between it just wouldn't be worth the price at all.
Yeah, someone did ask about what we'll do on future trips as well. That leads to it. We will hire a car eventually.
Yeah.
Go and see all the different places.
Yeah. It is coming.
It's coming, definitely coming.
But there's just no need.
Just wait until we're over 25 and it's a bit cheaper.
He's getting there this year.
Yeah.
He's nearly there.
So
you don't want to accept it.
Yeah, I'm 24. Vicky's 22.
Yes.
So one more year for me, and I'll be driving. So probably Florida trips in 2026. You'll see us whipping about in the mobile.
Yeah. Oh yes, going to other places other than just the parks, which will be fun for some of you to watch.
Yeah. Go on, let us know how much it was.
Yeah. So obviously we didn't book this, and this is obviously subject to change. So
this is a crazy price, by the way.
It is crazy, the difference. So for a 24-year-old to rent a car, was this for 2 weeks?
13 nights. So this was for our last day whilst we were in Disney.
Yes.
We wrote it all down because I knew the question was going to be coming up.
Yeah.
People hire a car. It was definitely cheap to get you Ubers and lifts.
Yes. So for a 24-year-old for 13 nights, did you say? To rent a car, it was £802.68.
And that was just for like a standard, the
standard,
most standard car you could get, the cheapest one basically.
Yeah. However, if you were 25 and over, again, 13 nights.
Did we write the exact figure down for this? Or was it
didn't write the exact figure because I don't think we could remember. We just remember it being
It was
around.
About £350 to £400.
Yeah, 350 to 400, which is an insane difference considering you could literally be
1 year older.
1 year older, or you could even be 3 months until you're 25 and you're paying double the price. So that is why we're sticking to Ubers, because I would rather pay £149.96 than pay like £400 each on a car. It just makes more sense, doesn't it? For us at the minute.
100%.
We'd love to hire a car. Don't get me wrong, I'd love that. A cruising.
Yeah, I know. But this was for staying at Disney as well.
Yeah.
Which, if you were staying on our drive like we did on our first visit to Florida together, then Uber prices, if you were travelling to Disney, would hike up again. So it all depends on your trip. Going back to the first thing we ever mentioned is find out what you want from your trip.
Yes.
If you are staying on our drive and you are going to visit Disney, you're going to be spending about £50, £60 each day on Ubers and lifts back and forth from the hotel. Yeah. So if you're working that out for 2 weeks, it's going to be a lot of money.
So it may be worth getting a car, you know.
In that situation,
Yeah, so if you're staying further afield and you're travelling to and from parks, like Danny said, if you're going to be, using Ubers a lot more than we were, then it may be worth you get. And if you're 25 and over, just have a look at it, just compare, just take what we've said, think about. You can also get the app and, like, for example, pretend that you're going to and from whatever place and check how much it is. Check how much it is at park close. Just see, just get an idea of it, and then if it's looking like it's going to be cheaper just to get a car and you want that little bit more freedom and you're over 25, perfect.
We will say as well, if you're not staying on site at Disney and you are driving to the parks, you're going to then be spending $30 each day on parking.
Yes, that's a good point.
So yes, it might be cheaper in terms of Uber and Lyft, but then if you're spending $30 each day on parking, then again your prices are going to increase.
Just things to bear in mind. But if you're not fussed and you want a car and you want that bit more freedom, then go ahead.
Yep, 100%.
Go ahead.
Anything else you want to touch on in terms of driving stuff? Even if you're staying at Disney and you wanted to get over to Universal, let's say you've bought the 14-day pass for Universal tickets.
Yeah.
You're going to be spending again $50 to get there and back.
Yeah.
To Universal, but how many times are you going? Are you just going to go for 3 days? Are you going to go for a full week?
Just all these little things to bear in mind.
Yeah, so
for your own trip.
Like I said, going back to the first point, plan what you want from your holiday. Do you want to do Universal and Disney?
Yeah.
In that case, what I'd recommend doing is probably staying at Disney for a week and then staying at Universal for a week.
Yes.
or staying at Lake Buena Vista for a week near Lake Buena Vista, so Uber's going to be cheaper, and then staying on iDrive for a week. So you've got different options there. We recommend both. Yeah. We love iDrive. We love staying on site.
Yeah. It was so good.
Just depends on what you want. Like I said, iDrive give you that freedom of being able to walk out and go to restaurants, go to bars, whatever.
Which saves you money on Ubers sometimes if you go in.
Yeah, because
local.
If you stay in the Disney resort, you're stuck in that bubble. You have to eat the food in the Disney hotel or the Disney parks, unless you get an Uber or you drive out to a restaurant. Yeah. So all of this needs to be beared in mind for when you're booking a holiday. Like I said, that was our total figure. So if you add that £75 onto the 1,900 odd each that we spent, it's just coming up to about over £2,000 for transportation, tickets, flights, and hotel. Yeah. Which
it's not bad.
I don't think it's bad at all for staying on site.
Yeah, compared to some of the prices that we know that you guys have paid, it blows our mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It blows our mind. Like, obviously, if you can afford to do that, that is brilliant. But obviously, we, as a young couple, want to try and make it as cheap as possible, really, but still be able
within
to
our reach, basically.
Yeah.
And like, don't look at other people and think, that's how I need to holiday. Everyone holidays different.
Exactly.
You might be. We'll talk about that later on spends, but it's just different ways of holidaying, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next section is spends.
Yes.
On food, on snacks, and on merch. So we're going to break it all down for you. So if we start off with lunch and evening meals, we've worked out how much we spent. This is obviously eating more at quick service places, eating at some sit-down restaurants and paying tip. Yeah. But it's all of the money we spent on food whilst we were there in terms of lunch and evening meals.
Just lunch and evening meals.
Just lunch and evening meals.
Excluding snacks.
Excluding snacks at the moment, and then we'll tell you what it is all together in a second.
The total for the evening meals and lunches only, we spent a total of £661.45, which is around £330.72 each.
Yeah, so breaking that down, that is eating at sit-down restaurants of Longcorn, Sicky's Garage and Yard House. Yes. They were the 3 evening meal sit-downs we did. Yeah. We did do the Celebration Diner as a sit-down, but that was more of our lunch. Yeah. And then like quick service places throughout Disney, like Casey's Corner,
Culver's we did as well.
Culver's, Chicken Guy, Deluxe Burger, Blaze Pizza, Blaze. Cheeseburger Spring Rolls. We counted them in that figure as well. Yeah. So anything that in terms of we went right, what we're having for lunch, that's what we're having for lunch. What we're having for tea, that's what we're having for tea. Yeah. That was that figure. So it was £661 and 45 pence in total, which again I don't think it's bad for 13 nights. That's pretty good.
Yeah, lunch and dinner.
Yeah. No, so we spent on snacks as well in terms of ice creams, chocolate stuff. Yeah. Our Walmart trip, that's including this next figure. Yeah. So all the little snack bits that we had throughout our 13 nights. That total figure, how much was that bit?
That was £315.34 in total.
In total, so you're looking at about £170, £165 per person on snacks. Which, again, it depends on what you want. We usually went for a little snack every day. Yeah. Some people might not want any snacks at all.
Snacky type people, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. I know our Walmart trip was £88 as well.
Yes, so that is obviously a good chunk of that.
That figure, yeah, exactly. So if we're looking at all food now, so evening meal, breakfast, lunch, and snacks, all included.
Everything we ate.
And
drank.
Yeah.
Yeah. That came to a total of £976.79, which is £488.40 per person.
So if you're thinking hotel and flights and food, that figure was about just less than £2,000 per person. Yeah. 1,900.
So that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, ish. Depends on what you want. Again, this is what we have to always keep coming back to. It depends on what you want from your holiday. You might want to eat at loads of sit-down restaurants. You might want to go to be our guest at Disney and eat at like the best restaurants ever. Yeah. Sit-down meals every night, paying eating fillet steak. Yeah. Depends on what you want. Like I said, sometimes we had a Blaze pizza for tea, which cost us like £11 each.
Exactly, and I think it's a good way to sort of compare how you holiday to how we do is to go and watch our videos. This isn't a plug. This is just purely just to go and watch our videos.
It is.
Stop it. Watch it and see if you sort of think that you holiday the same as we do, if you eat a similar amount to us, if you don't mind sharing at lunchtime, you know, if you don't want anything too big, if you've got a bigger meal at night, just have a look at our videos, see if you see similarities in the way that we holiday to how you like to holiday, and then you can sort of go from there. Like Danny said, if you're planning on eating out at sit-down restaurants every night, like Longhorn, Yard House, it's going to bump up in price. If you're eating, you know, your character dining things, that's going to bump up as well.
We didn't do any character dining and stuff
we didn't.
But like I said, that can rack up the price, definitely.
Yes.
Just touching on in terms of food, if you, let's say, you don't want to eat at any sit-down restaurants and you just want to eat at quick services for your lunch and your tea, I'd say lunches were about in and around $20 for a quick service lunch.
Is that each or?
That is each, yeah. Obviously, if you want a small lunch, it could work out about $10 each. If it's medium, $15, $20, could be $25, could be $30. And then evening meal is probably exactly the same figure.
Yeah.
I'd say quick service places aren't the most expensive, but again, depends what you want. Like from Casey's Corner, we got the chili cheese fries, which are about $6 each.
Yeah.
But then you could have gone for a foot-long hot dog, which was about $16.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference there.
It just depends on how you like to do your holiday, how much you want to eat, how many people you're with as well, whether you want to share, like sometimes we would share. So it honestly just depends. So don't take this as, you know, oh, that's how much it's going to cost, because you might want to eat a bit more, you might want to not eat as much. It just depends. It's just how you want to have your holiday and how many snacks you want as well, because it's very tempting, isn't it, walking around the parks?
It is. When you
see look at everything, you go, I want that.
Yeah. Mickey Brownie Sundae.
Oh yeah.
Cheeseburger spring rolls.
Oh, that we need to stop.
Yeah, we'll get too hungry.
I'll start crying.
on to the next bit anyways, which is heading over to merch. How much we spent on your merch. Now this wasn't just in Disney.
Yeah.
This was Disney, Universal, this was the outlets, this was Sephora, this was Target, this was, you know, Bath and Body. So everything that we spent on shopping. This was obviously presents as well.
Yeah.
Some of this was Christmas presents for people back at home. So if you know from like our Under Armour, I got my brother and one of my friend presents. Like Sephora, we got Vicky's friend presents.
Yeah.
We got stuff for Vicky's mum at Pacing. We got my mum stuff at Bath and Body Works, and also your friends. So a lot of presents included. So again, don't take it as a figure of what you need to spend or what you're gonna spend or whatever. But this was our total figure. So
you may not end up shopping at places like Sephora or Bath and Body Works or the outlets, but you might end up shopping in Disney and buying lots of merch there. So, like we say again, it's dependent on yourselves.
Yeah, but everything you saw in our September, October vlogs, in terms of what we spent on merch, because we showed everything, our Disney jackets, whatever. This is the total figure now.
So the merch total was £864.02.
Which we can't say each because you went and spent like $200 in Sephora.
I didn't.
Yeah, we can't remember that. Then I might have spent a lot more in Under Armour. Like in the outlets, I spent a bit more this time.
Yeah, which was quite surprising.
It was.
Until we went to Bath and Body Works.
I've got one of the tops on actually.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
If you like it. That was the outlets in Florida.
We're not sponsored. No plug this time.
No, but quite nice.
But if you do want to sponsor me Under Armour, you know where I'm at.
Yeah. Right.
So that comes to almost the total of what we spent on our holiday now. So that's everything: hotel, flights, tickets, transportation, food for lunch and dinner, snacks and merch, everything together.
Yes.
All of our spend. So our total figure together was £5,969 and 33 pence. Now this is in pounds, by the way.
Yes.
Like I said, if it was dollars, we've worked it out in pounds because I have it on my card and we can work it out and we've seen it all.
So that was total.
Yeah.
And then per person, £2,984.66 each.
Yeah, so that's everything. That's everything included.
Yeah.
Some people might think that's cheap. Some people might think that's expensive.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it's bad because you can adjust. Like I said, if you're looking at budgeting your Florida holiday a bit more, which we'll get onto in a second. If you're looking at budgeting it and stuff, you can do things that cheaper. You can eat at more quick service places. You don't need to stay on site.
You don't need to go shopping at the
Don't
outlets.
need to go shopping, yeah.
You don't have to spend other than on food. You don't really need to spend on quite a bit of the stuff we spent on. That's just what we chose to.
Yeah.
But I think that brings us on nicely to budgeting, which we got asked about a lot, didn't we?
So I'll say it, for me, for us, we don't budget.
No.
People might think, "What, you don't budget?"
Yeah.
But it's just the way we holiday. I think the best way to holiday in Florida is going out and enjoying yourself and getting what you want whilst you're there.
Yeah.
Eating what you want whilst you're there, buying the merch that you like the look of.
Yeah.
Obviously not going crazy. We know what we want to spend in our head, and obviously that could be different for everyone. I said that £3,000 gives you a rough estimate of a 2-week holiday in Florida. But you could come away spending £6,000. You could come away spending £1,500. Yeah.
Because you've got a good deal in the outlets, and you end up getting that. It really is dependent. Like Danny said, we don't budget. We just go and enjoy our holiday, which isn't something that everybody can do.
Yeah.
So we are very, very lucky in that sense. So budgeting is something you can obviously do if you want to do that, and you can obviously take some of the figures from our videos, because there's another thing to mention in our vlogs, we always mention prices of everything.
We show the menu.
Show the menu, the prices, the deals that we get. So you can also go back to that and think, well, on this day we'll do this, this and this, and we'll get this, this and this, because we show the menus, we show the price. So you can budget in that sense, but obviously for us to be able to say, oh, we budget this each day, we can't, because it would just purely depend for us.
Yeah, and I think it's unfair sometimes to budget for a day. Let's say you go to the Magic Kingdom and say, right, we're budgeting $100 a day.
Yeah.
And you get to evening meal and you spend 80 and you think, oh, I can't get that $25 meal because I'm only spending $100. That's where we personally don't get it, because I think if you like the look of something, you get it. We
just prefer to be a bit more relaxed with it, but
we won't go crazy with it. Like I'm not gonna go right. I'm not budgeting. We're eating at the best restaurants ever.
No.
We're buying every merch we see.
No, we don't do that. Like we're not crazy. We don't like go wild and spend on anything and everything that we come across and anything that we see. But we also don't tie ourselves down to a certain amount per day, which, if that is something that would benefit you, absolutely do it. But we just can't. We just can't speak on that part.
I will say what we do is we have an estimation of about. We always say about £1,000 each.
Yeah, for spends.
£1,000 in and around. Like I said, if we go over that figure, we go over it. We have got a bit of savings that we can dip into.
We generally have £1,000 each.
But if that's it's a rough estimate. Yeah, we do take some cash as well. I think it's also good to take cash whilst you're in Florida, because you never know if you're stuck out and you can't pay with your card, your phone dies, your card's not working for whatever reason.
And
cash is good.
Cash only. It's just always nice to have that other currency, form of money.
Yeah, bring different forms of payment.
That's it.
Don't just have one card.
Yeah.
Like I said, for people wondering, we use the Chase bank account. We also use Revolut cards, and we also use cash. So we have 3 different ways of paying.
Yeah, and they don't charge for using it.
Take your physical card as well as Apple Pay if you're paying on your phone.
Yeah.
Obviously, we mostly pay Apple Pay with our phone, but for example, at Chicken Guy, you need your actual physical card there.
Yes.
Which to me is crazy. I don't understand why they don't have contactless.
Because that can catch you out, because sometimes you don't want to take your card out. Like if you've got Apple Pay, you don't want to take your physical card in case you lose it. So I don't think it's great. If you're taking card, you should really take Apple Pay.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a place that accepts card. But yeah,
I'd say that's it for budgeting really.
It is. It's we can't really comment on the budgeting side, but I'm sure there are other people who know how to budget well. And like I say, go back to our videos and have a look how much we spent. We do show prices, and you can gauge it from there if you'd like to.
And in terms of booking a holiday and budgeting how much you want to spend on the holiday, we'll get onto that, because different ways of what we've done. We've stayed on site at Disney, and we've stayed at iDrive.
Yes.
So let's say we're staying at iDrive again. If we're looking at holidays for hotel and flights, we wouldn't really pay more than £900 per person. Maybe pushing to £1,000 for 2 weeks at iDrive. Let's say you're staying at Avanti that we stayed at on our first trip. Yeah, £1,000 per person with direct flights and the hotel included. I'd say that's anything less than that, that's a good price. Yeah. Anything more, you could probably get a better deal somewhere else.
Yeah, and iDrive generally, it's a good place for and I don't think a lot of people consider this when they think about going to Orlando. I think they think expensive because they think Disney prices or Universal prices. iDrive is a really good alternative for if you want to visit but you don't want to pay those prices. Generally, it is cheaper than...
I'd say it's a nice, budget-friendly
It is, and do you
option.
know what? It's lovely.
We love it.
Love it, yeah.
Yes, you might get the odd dodgy character hanging about, but
Same
with anywhere. We've never had a problem with anyone.
No.
Yeah, hotels have always been fine. As long as they're clean and safe, I'd say.
Yeah, and you can read reviews on that.
There's a lot of tourism in Florida. Yes. People do stay on iDrive. It's not like you're on your own. It is a little bit quieter and obviously more real life than staying at Disney.
It's another option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of spending those prices that you generally see.
Yeah, but then if you do want to stay within the Disney bubble or the Universal bubble, then staying on site, like I said, we spent about £1,300 and whatever pounds it were per person. I'd say below 1,500 per person. That's hotel and flights included. I'd say below that's a good deal. In and around that's not bad. Pushing 1,600, 1,700. This is for All-Star, by the way.
Yeah, we can't comment on the others.
I'd say I wouldn't spend that much personally. We wouldn't spend that much personally. No. But then if you want to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge or any of the more mid-tier towards luxury hotels, you're obviously going to be spending more. So again, it goes back to our first point of what do you want from your holiday?
Yes.
Do you want to stay at the best hotel? It's your only trip you're ever going to Florida in your life. You want to stay at a really nice Disney hotel.
Yeah.
You want to fly Virgin upper class instead of economy.
One in a lifetime trip.
It's going to be completely different to our spends.
We want to go. We want to keep going back. So we obviously don't want to splash out entirely on one trip and then be like, oh, can't do that again.
Yeah. Personally, we'd rather go twice than once.
Yeah.
So twice at iDrive than once at an expensive Disney resort. Yes. But if we get a good price for Disney resort, we'll stay at Disney resort.
Yeah.
I have found that prices are looking a bit more expensive for staying on site.
Yeah.
But like I said, depends where you look, depends what time of year you look.
Yeah.
It all depends on that. But I think that's a good little summary of our spends in Florida.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our price breakdown.
Yeah.
What we'll do now is we'll go on to any extra little bits that we need to speak about.
Yes.
So we just had a quick run through on our Instagram and checked all the little things that you guys asked to know about.
Yeah.
We have mentioned stuff throughout the video in terms of where's the best to book, Ubers and Lyft costs and stuff.
Yeah.
This is just going through the final stuff that we need to kind of run through.
Yeah.
So go on, Vic.
Okay, so first one is how to make the most of your day.
Yeah, so making the most of your day. An example day, we're going to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Check park opening hours.
Yeah.
So is it 8 o'clock? Is it 7 o'clock? Is it 9 o'clock? Are you staying on site? So are you going to get early entry?
Yeah.
Because if you are, you're going to get half an hour early. You can get on some rides before the rest of the crowd come in.
Yeah.
I'd say just get there early.
Yeah.
If you're just going maybe one day to Magic Kingdom, let's say you're only going to Florida for a week.
Yeah.
Park open until park closure. That's how you're going to get the most, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Check the apps to make sure you know what queue times are the lowest and where you need to go to next and stuff. I'd say that's pretty much.
And I think that takes you on nicely to the 7 AM virtual queues that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, so people asked about tips for first timers, didn't they?
Yes.
So if you're going to Disney, some people might not know, but there is some rides that you need to go and grab the 7 AM virtual queue for. Guardians of the Galaxy's Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Tron,
what used to be, but you don't do it now.
Oh.
I think that's it, isn't it?
You can tell that Danny does all of the queues, can't you? I don't do a thing.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
For them too. So 7 AM virtual queues.
Downloading the apps, like the Disney app.
Yeah, download the apps that you need.
Yeah.
Just make sure you've got everything sorted before you go and hit the parks.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're nice and organised, otherwise it can become stressful.
Yeah.
Rushing about and stuff. Just try and be as relaxed as you possibly can. If you can't get on the rides you want to do, like it happened to us, if you're there for 2 weeks, go another day, try it out another day. Yeah. There's no point waiting in a queue for us personally for 2.5 to 3 hours for a ride.
You're going to be there again.
Yeah, I don't think any ride's worth that time, unless it's your only time there and you really want to go on Rise of Resistance at Hollywood Studios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then fair enough, go and queue because that's what you want to do. But if you got more time throughout your holiday, maybe go and try another time.
Yeah.
Obviously, most people will head to the main rides and attractions early on. So everyone's going to do rope drop into Rise of Resistance or to Tron in Magic Kingdom or to Ratatouille or Frozen in Epcot.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing that. I did notice though the queue times don't really lower, so I think jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Get there for rope drop and try and hit the best ride early as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is best transport prices, which is one thing that we wanted to mention that we forgot about.
Yeah. From our previous February 2024 trip, obviously we stayed on iDrive, and if you're not already aware of it, they do an iTrolley on iDrive, which we loved, didn't we?
Such good value. It was bloody great.
Yeah, we got our tickets from attraction tickets or Florida Ticks. I think it was Florida Ticks. It was about £10 to £12 for 2 weeks unlimited use.
It takes you up and down.
Up and down the iDrive, yeah, from one outlet to the other.
Yeah.
So you're going from like Vineland, which is near Disney, to the international outlets, which is near Universal. So that's one way of doing it, yeah.
And it's good for if you are staying on iDrive, for example, and you're spending a day at the outlets or you're staying in your hotel and there's a restaurant you want to go to that's up iDrive, buying that pass. Did you say it's pass ticket?
Yeah,
pass, for the stay. Then that's going to be one cost that would have cost you a lot in an Uber covered.
Yeah, it's like when we stayed at Disney. We got an Uber from Disney Springs to Vineland.
Yeah. And
then we grabbed the iTrolley from Vineland to the other one. It only cost us $2 each instead of, I think, a taxi. We did mention in our video, but it was definitely a lot more for a taxi.
Worth it.
Definitely worth it. Like I said, if you're staying on iDrive, I'd buy the unlimited 2-week pass. If you're not staying on iDrive, but you go in to iDrive, maybe just look at grabbing a single use, which is $2 per person for a single use. That's for adults. If you are a concession, so it's like OAP or children, you do get it at a discounted rate. So definitely worth looking at.
Definitely. Okay. What would we change
about our next trip? Obviously, we're always looking at doing new things. But we love our holidays. We wouldn't change anything about our previous holidays.
No.
We'd just look at maybe trying something new, trying a new restaurant. Trying a new ride for Vicky.
Yes.
So stuff like that. That's what we change. We wouldn't exactly go back and change anything from the past because we love our trips.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we don't regret anything. We love it.
Definitely not. Okay. So just touching on the difference between iDrive, for example, and staying at Disney.
Yeah.
Just the cost difference.
We're going to come to this later and do like a made-up scenario example.
Oh yeah.
But this is from what we spent on our February holiday compared to our October. Now, this isn't on spends because we don't have our figure from spends. We didn't keep track of it all. But just in terms of flights and hotel, staying at Avanti compared to flights and hotel staying in Disney. So in February 2024, we stayed at Avanti Palms Resort and Conference Centre on iDrive. And the total cost came to £749 per person. That's for hotel and flights. Direct flights with Aer Lingus again from Manchester and hotel at Aer Lingus. There is some unexpected costs that we will mention in a second that people ask for. But £749 for Avanti on iDrive with hotel and flights, and then £1,382 per person for Disney's All Star Sports with flights included. So if you're looking at that, it's a good almost 50% more. Like you're almost doubling your money. It's almost double.
Which shows why we love iDrive.
Yeah, but then if you're staying on iDrive, and we mentioned it before, and you're going to Disney, you're then going to be spending, let's say, $50 a day. And let's say you go to Disney 7 times, that's £50 before you know it.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
So divide that by 2, call it almost 200 for each. Then you're touching a grand staying at Avanti. And obviously you don't get the early access. It's not close, so you're spending a lot of time travelling. So there's so many pros and cons staying.
So many things to weigh up.
This is why I'll go back to it again. Plan your holiday, know what you want. Just know what type of holiday you want. Is it worth spending the more money to stay on site? Or do you want to save a bit more? Are you not bothered about the travel time to and from resorts and stuff and the parks? But touching on the unexpected cost that we mentioned. what were they? What the unexpected costs in Florida? Stuff that you don't realise that it's there, but it is.
So I think the main one for us would be resort fees, which when we stayed at Avanti, they had a resort fee. Can you remember how much that was?
It was about $15 to $20 per day.
Each?
Just together. It came up to about 150, 160. We stayed 11 nights. I think it was $160 for 11 nights at Avanti. Obviously, if you stay more, it's going to increase.
Yeah, so that's something to add on to.
Something to add on to the price. So sometimes you might look and go, £800 per person for hotel and flights on Love Holidays staying at International Drive, but then the resort fee on top, then you're almost touching £1,000, and then you might as well stay at Disney All Star Sports if you got a good deal, or other Disney resorts. So it's definitely worth something to look at. Just check. Normally, if it says resort, they usually have a resort fee. However, Disney is called Disney's All Star Sports Resort, and that didn't have a resort fee.
Yeah, it'll say it somewhere if you check things like TripAdvisor. Yeah. Somebody probably will have mentioned it if it's not something that they expected. So, and you can also ask the hotel, drop them an email, just ask the question. And then to finish up on the unexpected costs, tax not being included in prices. So if you're out shopping, things like that, for example, if you're in Sephora and you see a price, just remember that it's going to be slightly more added on when you get to the till. Yeah,
I've usually found out it's about 6.5% tax.
Yeah.
Obviously that's on your food, that's on your clothing, it's on everything apart from some stores in Disney are tax free.
Good point.
So
yeah, but just bear that in mind.
Yeah, you might be thinking, oh, great deal, $20, but then it's $24.
And you laugh. Never mind.
Yeah, so just be aware there is tax included. Obviously, you can just go onto your calculator, type in the amount, times it by 1.065, and then it'll work it out. There you go. And one last little final thing before we go on to an example of a holiday.
Yeah.
One thing that someone mentioned was about breakables. So let's say you've got a mug that you bring in home and stuff. How we wrap them is basically in like a towel or clothing that we don't mind getting a bit damaged if it was something to leak or whatever. Usually if it is like a liquid, we put it in a plastic bag, maybe a ziplock or some of the ziplock.
Yeah,
there we go.
Or a sandwich bag.
Or some kind of makeup bag that's going to keep it in.
Yeah.
And then wrap it in a towel or something just to cushion it. Just saves it from basically getting damaged.
And I'd say as well, don't put it. So if you're packing your suitcase and obviously you've got two sides to it, don't put it underneath everything so it's like against a hard surface. So if they throw your suitcase, it's not going bang, smash.
Yeah, trying to sandwich it in between stuff. Yeah.
That's what we do anyway, and we've been successful thus far.
So far.
Fingers crossed, touch wood, let's all. There we go. Alright.
What about like makeup wise? Someone also mentioned about.
Oh yes, they did. Yeah, so I think this one's more for you.
Yeah, so definitely. So what I'd say is makeup in terms of.
So somebody did ask about the best makeup to wear when it's warm and you're going to the parks and everything.
You don't want it sweating off and stuff.
So obviously it's different for everybody. Obviously some people prefer more full coverage makeup, some people prefer not much. What I personally tend to do is keep it light because of the heat. You're gonna end up sweating it off anyway. So I'd probably say just stick to like concealer. I use a nice thing which is a skin tint from Peaches and Cream. It's just like this little, I think it's a 100ml bottle. It's just like a skin tint. It's like instant tan essentially for your face, and that just gives you a little bit of colour. Bronzer, concealer. I try to avoid like foundation, things like that. Obviously if you're an oilier person, maybe take some oil patches, things. I'm not too oily, but take them, reduce any shine.
I'd say if you got like questions about you personally and you want to ask Vicky, expert Vicky over here, just send us a message on Instagram.
Yeah, send us a message.
She can probably try and help you the best she can.
But I like to keep it light anyway. But if you want specifics for products that I like and things like that, I'm not an expert, but if you want some recommendations, then drop me a message because I won't bore all the people that aren't into makeup for too long on here. I could talk about it all day.
You could do. So send me a message. But the final thing to run through is an example holiday.
Yeah.
So let's imagine we were just going to book a holiday with you guys watching now.
Yeah.
What would we do? So let's run it all through. So like I said, let's do what we want from our holiday. So let's say we want a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
We want to go to Disney. We want to go to Universal.
Yeah.
Mainly Disney, sorry.
Nice and warm.
Nice and warm, yeah. But we do want to do Universal as well.
Yeah.
We've checked a couple of different things.
Yeah.
So the example date is May the 12th
Yeah.
to May the 26th
Yeah.
of 2025. So
Yes.
3 or 4 months off.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we're looking for, we can't give you every example of each year.
This is just one idea.
Yeah, exactly. So 12th of May. So we had a look at booking flights separately. So there's 2 examples. You've got either Aer Lingus or you've got Virgin. Aer Lingus is coming up slightly cheaper, and Virgin obviously a little more expensive. I'll let you do the prices of it.
So Aer Lingus is direct flights. This is from Manchester, by the way, so obviously other airports may vary.
Looking through Skyscanner, by the way.
Skyscanner, yeah. So you're looking at around £621 for Aer Lingus. That's excluding your seating and baggage, and this is for economy as well.
Yeah.
And then for Virgin, again, Manchester,
£790, isn't it?
£790.
So
excluding
as well. So you can see,
economy.
Yeah, it's about £170 difference to fly with Virgin. Some people love Virgin more than Aer Lingus.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Aer Lingus do the job.
Yeah.
If it's saving us £400 or so for our holiday, I'd rather put it towards a nice evening meal or some snacks or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's obviously for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's say we book our Aer Lingus flight for £621. Then we book our seats and baggage separate, which is, your seats are going to come to about £30-ish in and around. We don't have an exact figure.
No.
Per flight, so that's another 60 on top, so that's coming up to 680. Then your baggage is going to be about 100, so that's we're talking nearly £800 just for your flight alone.
For 2 people.
For one person.
For one person, so
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just for one person, per person this is.
Yeah.
Like I said, you head over to Love Holidays, for example, which we checked here.
Yeah.
And you can get flights and room at Avanti for £969 per person for the 2 weeks. Exactly the same dates, exactly the same flights with Aer Lingus. So you can see the difference already in terms of booking sometimes as a package compared to separate. Let's say we continue with booking just the Aer Lingus flight, so we're talking £800 per person, and then we decide to go and stay at Disney's All-Star Sport instead of Avanti. We looked on attraction tickets and it came to £2,165 between us. Just for Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. So you're halving that, you're talking about 1,100 each.
Yeah.
On top of that, £800 per flight, you're talking 1,900 for flights and hotel.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than what we paid.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, that's kind of, if you're booking it separately in terms of for Disney's All-Star Sport. Let's say we were staying at Avanti separately, which we checked on Expedia.
Just finding it online.
There you go. So Expedia was showing up for Avanti Palms at £1,363. Add your 800 each on, so half that, we're talking about 700 for the hotel, plus 800 for the flights. You're talking £1,500 per person to stay at Avanti Resorts and fly with Aer Lingus direct.
Plus your resort fee.
Plus your resort fee. I won't pay that.
No.
So I'd always say probably booking as a package usually comes up a bit cheaper.
Yes. Yeah.
That's personal preference. If you were to book Disney's All-Star Sports through Expedia, it was showing up as £2,371, which is about £1,200 each on top of your 800, which is £2,000. So you can see compared to booking it directly, you can see the difference. We'll go back to our personal other thing, which was right. So we then went on to let's have a look at booking as like a holiday as a package.
Yeah.
So we went on to Virgin Holidays. And we thought, right, Virgin was showing up at about £800 before your luggage, before whatever. And we thought if you book as like a package, you'll get them included, so it might bring the price down cheaper. So we had a look and we went, right, Virgin Holidays, 12th of May to the 26th, booking with Virgin Holidays, staying at Avanti's Resort again, and flying with Virgin.
Yeah.
How much is the price of it?
£1,296 per person.
So you've got 1,296 per person compared to what was showing up as before, which was about 1,500.
Yeah.
And that's flying with Virgin as well. So you can see booking the package in that kind of sense would be cheaper and better for you.
Yeah.
We also checked on. Sorry about that.
Some geese flying past.
We also checked on British Airways for the exact same thing. Obviously, British Airways you'll be flying with either British Airways or Aer Lingus, but staying at Avanti as well as a package, and that was £1,099.50 for flights and hotel, which again compared to booking it separately is cheaper.
Absolutely.
So you've got a couple of different options there for staying at, as well as British Airways. We had a look at staying at Disney's All Star Sport. And that was 1,798. That's for hotel, Disney's All Star Sports, and your flights with either British Airways or Aer Lingus. So you're comparing the difference there. You've got about a £700 difference to stay at Disney's Resort per person.
Yes.
1,400. So in my opinion, if I was going to look at this booking this holiday, I'd probably look at booking as a package.
Yeah.
And I'd probably look at staying at iDrive.
Yes.
Just because Disney's showing up crazily expensive.
Yeah.
Do we do any more little examples afterwards? Oh yeah, final one is on Virgin.
Oh yeah.
And staying at All Star Sports.
Yeah.
Flying directly with Virgin from Manchester. Total price?
£1,912 per person.
Okay, so we've got 1,912 per person compared to staying at Avanti, which was 1,296 per person. So you're looking at a good £600-700 difference again per person. Again, 1,400 total, which you're not going to spend on a car. You're not going to spend on fees for Ubers and Lyfts. So personally, I'd stay at International Drive in that opinion. Looking at that, if we were to book that exact holiday, then now that's not saying if you go and look on that's going to be your thing that's going to come up. You might get a good deal on Disney. Yeah.
It's all dependent. So
different people. So we're a couple of two. You might be a family of 4, a family of 5, family of 6, a big group of 8. Might be 3 people. It all depends on your current situation.
But it's always worth checking.
Checking, like we just shown you then. If we were to go and book separately, and we thought, we'll fly with Virgin, £1,000 for flights on its own almost, with baggage and seats included. And then stay at Disney's All Star Sports, booking separately through Expedia. That was about 2,400 together. So half that, 1,200. So you're looking at almost 2.2k to book separately. But then if you went on to Virgin, you could probably knock off a good £300-400 from that. But then sometimes booking separately might be cheaper.
So it's just dependent, but it's good to know that you've got a few options there to look at. So. And obviously time of year depends as well, and length of stay, as you'll know. But it just depends. But explore everything before you book.
Definitely, So we hope this video has given you a good little insight into how we holidayed, how much we spent on our holiday, but also if you're looking to book and it's your first time booking, how to book your holiday. We're not saying this is the only way to book holidays. There's going to be other ways. There might be independent travel companies. There might be.
But we've just not come across.
And we've not obviously spoke about. There's loads of different ways on holiday. I'll just try and think. Just look. That's the way we do it. Just look at what's best for you and what you want from your holiday and how much you want to spend, where you want to go whilst you're there. All them little bits. And
as well, if you've watched this video and we haven't covered something that you were wanting to know, or you didn't get a chance to ask us, or you're booking something and you can't tell, because it can be very overwhelming when you're looking at a holiday and you're trying to work out what's a good deal and what's not, especially if you've never been before. Feel free to drop us a message or a comment. You can message us on Instagram. You can drop a comment in the description here. Comments here.
We'll try to get back to you as quick as possible.
It's difficult sometimes to get back to you straight away, but we do try. Just drop us a message or a comment and we can try and help you as best we can. We're not experts. We don't know the best in every situation, but we can help if it's your first time and you're just overwhelmed with what's a good deal and what's not. We'll be able to help you work it out a little bit. And
that's the way we've holidayed, that's the way we've booked, and we've enjoyed it the way we've done.
We have.
That's the main thing. You might spend maybe £100 extra than you could have done, but as long as you're comfortable spending that amount, then that's the main thing. Definitely. But yeah, we've enjoyed sitting down, chatting to you all. It's been nice. We're definitely looking forward to our next Florida trip for you all.
Absolutely.
We've not got any holiday reveals as of yet.
No.
There might be a video coming soon.
Yeah.
Might be a trip announcement video.
We do also post a lot of stuff like that on our Instagram, so if you haven't followed us on there, then go and check us out. It's just Rollon Holidays, isn't it?
Yeah, at Rollon Holidays.
Yeah.
Over on Instagram. We are on TikTok as well, which we're going to start posting a bit more on TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you are down with the kids and you're on TikTok.
Wait, see, the thing is, I'm 22, you're 24, and we can't work out TikTok, so...
Yeah, we're not down with the kids.
So honestly, if you can create an account, I'm proud of you, because that's hard enough.
But yeah, we're going to start posting on that a bit more. But we do use Instagram for most of the things.
Yeah, and updates and everything like that. Yep.
So yeah, no, it's been nice. It's been nice to chat with you all.
Yeah.
Our next video is going to be our 3 nights in Budapest vlog, which we're excited to post. We're excited to show you.
Yeah.
That is going to be dropping on the 14th of February, so Valentine's Day. Yeah, cheeky little video for you there to watch at night.
That's from me to you, well, us to you.
Us to you, yeah. Little treat for you all. But yeah, that's our next video, and then hopefully from there, possibly a trip announcement for our next Florida trip. Yes. Exciting times. Can't wait. But yeah, we hope you've all enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop us a like. Like I said, comment all the questions down below that you want to know. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your support.
What have we got left to say?
Roll the next one.
Bye bye, guys.